So I would first like to start off with saying that it's 5 in the morning where I'm at right now. So I'm going to be trying to talk just a bit softly. I do have other people in my house. Um, so if I'm too quiet, please let me know in the comments below so that I know how to fix my tiny, stupid little voice so y'all can hear me and be able to make fun of me properly. um, I would also like to thank the 3 people that have already subscribed to me and my very sparse channel. I understand that you all were probably expecting content when you subscribed to me 2 months ago. I am sorry, and I'm a horrible person, but thank you for your time. I'm really happy that you thought I was important enough to subscribe. uh, really means a lot. With all of that out of the way though, I would like to get to the meat of the video, which is the story. Now I know you're probably wondering, Seer, why are you starting this channel with a crappy little story about how you suck and everyone thinks you're dumb? Well, my dear sweet little listeners, uh, it's because I feel like I should share with you. You know, stories are the best way to learn about a person, and I don't know, some of you might actually have something in common with me. Or not, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Uh, I would also like to put a disclaimer at the beginning of this video. Um, the topics that I'm about to cover are a little dark and may trigger some of you, and in that case, I would suggest clicking away from the video. I don't want any of you to feel uncomfortable during your time on my channel. Um, so yeah, uh, if you feel like you can muscle through the next 20 or so minutes, um, we can get into the story. Just wanted to let everybody know ahead of time that there might be some triggering topics within the content of this video. Alright, so it all started on Tumblr. Believe it or not, I really don't mind the website. I only really mind some of the people on there. They're not very nice, or accepting. So that's kind of where this story kind of starts. Long story short, once upon a time, a doe-eyed seer went to a site to find others like himself. This ended up being a very bad idea, for when he posted his first blog, he was attacked, ridiculed, and demonized, for he had spoke against the ways of the god spouse. This was never to be done. Needless to say, I was told to go die, to go kill myself, for not agreeing with the practice. My intellect was pretty much torn down, and along with it, every last shred of my self-confidence. So, in other words, I was completely destroyed within the course of, I would say about 2 hours or so, within posting my blog about how I disagreed with the idea of god spousing. Not that I didn't think it shouldn't be done, because I really don't care what you do, as long as you're safe about it and you're responsible. But everybody decided to tell me that I was a horrible person and that I needed to go die. And I started to believe them. I started to think that maybe I should kill myself. Just real quick FYI, I'm prone to suicidal tendencies. I have been since I was at least 11 years old. Really long story, I won't get into it. It happens, you know. It's coupled with the depression and everything, and everybody kind of gets to those points, you know. So, um, I started wanting to kill myself. I got really depressed, and I was laying in bed all the time. And I really started wondering, am I worthy of following the path that I had been following for years before I even decided to reach out to others? Like, have I been doing this wrong all this time? Like, what am I doing wrong? It was really hard. I didn't know what to do. And then one night, my friend sent me a link, and she told me to look over it and to watch the video, because the woman in it might be able to help me to better understand the practice of god spousing, because I had researched on it, and like the things that I had found were iffy at best, I suppose. And she told me that listening to someone talk to me about it other than people on Tumblr might be a good idea. So, with a lot of fear and a racing heart, I clicked the link. Um, I was then taken to a channel that seemed to be run by an older woman. Not that I really minded that, but by no means was I willing to drool over the fact that she was way older than me and seemed to know what she was doing at first. Because, I had already been working with these gods that I had been working with for at least 14 years, and I really wasn't willing to just blindly start following and listening to someone. You know what I mean? Uh, but as I was new to the online community, this was something that I learned I would regret later. Um, so I started watching her video, and the first thing out of her mouth, I'm paraphrasing here by the way, was, "If you don't like it, you can leave, because I hate you." Um, and that was a little disheartening. I guess I didn't necessarily want to give up on the idea. Um, I definitely kept watching her videos. And then I started going on YouTube, typing in like different stuff and everything, see if anybody else had differing opinions. And most of the prominent videos on, at least on Loki and God spousing, were her videos. And I was like, okay, well, I don't really agree with her on being so prude. I don't think that it's nice to tell people that are coming to your videos to just go away because you hate them. But I decided to keep watching. So, about 5 videos later, I closed my laptop. I started feeling really sick. Every single video that I watched, she was talking about herself, complaining about how things in her life really sucked and how everyone was out to get her. There was barely anything in the videos that I had watched that ascertained to the actual topic that she was going to cover. It was mostly just about her. And I mean, I kind of just wanted to give up again. So I went and I laid down. Um, I couldn't believe that the gods could allow this to even get by. I couldn't believe that, especially Loki, I couldn't believe that he would even be okay with somebody preaching like this. I was really upset, so I had to lay down. The next morning, I woke up. I had all but given up on ever finding others like me. It was going to be almost impossible at this point. So I went back to her channel. Surely she would have been better if I had gotten her one-on-one, talking to her in private or in a comment. But for some reason, she wouldn't respond, and the comments on her videos seemed to be hidden or just wouldn't show up at all. I thought it was odd. Soon I came to realize that she was doing this and that she had blocked me for simply wanting to pick her brain and understand her better. So I started disliking her videos for a small amount of time. I soon noticed that I wasn't the only one doing this and that there were others that would also downvote her content. And it made me happy. As soon as I had that thought, I felt disgusted with myself. How could I think that? I closed my laptop and I needed something else to pass the time, I went off and I cooked for my family. I think that night I had made some chicken for my husband and my son. I really didn't want to eat. But, before long I was back again. I was watching her content. Something was pulling me to her. I just had to understand her and why she was so rude and selfish. And why she claimed to be a channel about pagan things and following Loki when she clearly wasn't. Other than that, I started regretting anything that I thought about her. I thought I was being irrational and that the things that I was doing were horrible, and I really felt like a monster. I wanted to stop, but I couldn't because something was just pulling me to the channel and like pulling me to her to watch her and everything. And soon watching her content and disliking them became a habit. And I thought if she wouldn't talk to me, then I would at least let her know I was still there. I grew to hate her. And that smug face. As if she was getting away with something. I hated the way she talked, and I really, really hated her fridge for some reason. I have no idea why. It was just a fridge, and it was doing nothing. It was just sitting there. It had some cool little magnets and stuff on it. But I friggin' hated that fridge. But out of all of the loathing and all of just the general hate, there was something deeper within me. I really pitied her. She was so alone that she had to make up all of this stuff and all of these stories and beg for attention to fill a void that she could never fill. Then, one day, she started talking to someone. Excuse me, I'm sorry. 5 in the morning, you know. She started talking to someone in her videos. She openly talked to Loki and other deities like they were right in front of her. My heart sank. I wanted to help her. I wanted to grab her and drag her back from the darkness and tell her to stop. But I couldn't. All I could do was watch and do as I always had. I disliked the video and I went on about my day. I really felt like a monster then. A few weeks later, she finally did something that sent me over the edge. She called me out in her video for the day. And then again and again, she kept mentioning me. Not by name, but as the one disliking my videos. I was the only one doing it at this point, so I knew she was talking about me. This angered me. I was to the point where I was going to stop watching her, and I was going to block her and be done with it and leave it alone. She called me a child, said I was pathetic, mocked me. I wanted her out of my life. I couldn't stand her anymore. But the constant pulling was still there. I couldn't leave now. She was finally interacting with me, focusing on something other than herself. Finally, it was helping her. The parent in me wanted to keep going. I didn't want to leave her alone, because I knew I could help. Soon, I found that this wasn't a pulling to her on my part, but it was Loki. He wanted me to see her, to understand that if I wasn't careful, I would end up being her. She was and is what happens to all of us when we become complacent. So I kept watching. It's been a few months now, and she's only gotten worse. So I'm making this video to try one more time to reach out to her, to help her so she can stop feeling like she needs to act as if she's acting on behalf of the gods to get this attention. Because it's not only getting her the wrong type of attention, but I doubt she will ever care and that this will ever help her or anyone that's like her. If you made it this far in the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry that my first video had to be about something so dark and depressing. I promise the next one will be more lighthearted and enjoyable. But I felt like I needed to put this out there. Things like this are dangerous to deal with and to watch unfold. And it's up to us to help make sure that they don't happen. So remember, if you can help someone, or someone is coming to you for help, or to learn from you, don't turn them away, because that is the worst possible thing that you could ever do. And coming from the other side, it's one of those things that hurts the most. Feeling alone and feeling like you have to act out for this attention isn't good. And it's one of the worst feelings you could ever have. So just remember, keep it in mind that if someone's coming to you for advice, you should probably give it to them. Or if someone's even coming to you to help you out, maybe you should listen to them, because it could end up saving you a lot of pain. Starting from here on out, I'm Seer of Loki, and I want you to keep in mind that those with eyes can see, but the path to truth can only be uncovered by those with the minds to seek it.